A single image has ignited a nationwide conversation that continues to ripple across the world of women's basketball. Paige Bueckers, the rising star and newly minted professional guard, became the center of a fierce online debate after a promotional photo surfaced of her in a poised, confident stance, dribbling during a shoot for her team's branding campaign. The image, shared widely across social media platforms, was quickly seized upon by fans, analysts, and basketball enthusiasts, not merely for its aesthetics, but for what it represents in the broader narrative of women's sports. With Caitlin Clark, the Indiana Fever's marquee rookie and arguably the most talked-about athlete in the WNBA this season, facing a very public shooting slump, the timing of the Bueckers photo only intensified discussion. For some, it symbolized a potential shift in power. For others, it was simply a visual representation of a parallel story developing in real time. Two generational talents, emerging together, being constantly compared, whether they welcome it or not. The photo that lit the spark. The photograph in question shows Bueckers draped in her team's uniform, calm yet focused, ball in hand, exuding a quiet intensity. There is no overt emotion, no forced smile, no theatrical pose. Just clarity and control. The simplicity of the photo is what made it powerful, and it was quickly viewed as a counterpoint to the heavily scrutinized presence of Clark, whose every game, shot, and expression has been dissected with increasing intensity over the past month. The contrast was unavoidable. While Clark's shooting numbers have dipped and her team has suffered a series of inconsistent performances, Bueckers appears to be emerging with a sense of poise and efficiency. The photo, perhaps innocently intended, has been interpreted by many as a symbolic arrival. Paige Bueckers, they say, is no longer just part of the conversation. She is now commanding it. Shooting slump adds fuel to the fire. Caitlin Clark's journey into the WNBA was one of the most anticipated debuts in sports history. Her college career was nothing short of revolutionary. Record-breaking performances, buzzer beaters, logo threes, and national acclaim made her the face of the future. However, her professional adjustment has not been without challenges. Over the last several games, her shooting percentage from beyond the arc has plummeted. Missed shots, defensive pressure, and fatigue have all contributed to a narrative that her dominant college style may need recalibration in the WNBA. This rough patch couldn't have come at a more intense moment. The spotlight on Clark remains bright, perhaps too bright, and every misstep is magnified. Fans have begun to question her efficiency. Commentators point to her turnovers. Opposing defenders have made her a primary target. And while all of this is typical for a rookie adjusting to the highest level of basketball, it has become fodder for those eager to compare her to Bueckers. Paige Bueckers, quietly dominating. Unlike the whirlwind of attention surrounding Clark, Bueckers has made her entrance with less media spectacle, but an equally compelling performance. Her numbers are steady. Her decision-making is sharp. Her court vision and defensive contributions have stood out. And in many ways, her demeanor has struck a chord with fans who appreciate quiet confidence over media hype. Bueckers' shooting splits have remained solid through her first professional weeks. While not putting up video game numbers, she has shown consistency, control, and a mature understanding of the game that many rookies take years to develop. She has also demonstrated the ability to lead her team through stretches of difficult play, keeping a cool head and making the right decisions under pressure. The Bueckers photo, therefore, didn't just capture an athlete in uniform, it captured a moment of readiness. A moment that, to many, says, Paige has arrived. A tale of two stars. Comparisons between Clark and Bueckers were inevitable long before either touched the hardwood in a WNBA game. Their college careers intertwined. Their highlight reels shared viral space. Their games, while stylistically different, complemented and contrasted one another in compelling ways. Clark, the long-range shooter and explosive scorer. Bueckers, the methodical playmaker and perimeter defender. Both were top picks in their respective drafts. Both were viewed as the faces of the league's future. But as the season progresses, the contrast in their professional arcs is becoming more pronounced. Clark is battling the pressure of being a cultural icon. She has endorsement deals, national campaigns, and headlines written about her every move. The expectations are immense. Every game is a referendum on her potential. Bueckers, while no stranger to fame, has entered with slightly more room to breathe. She's been able to focus more on her craft and less on the cameras. That space may be giving her the edge she needs to quietly build her legacy, one possession at a time. Social media and the court of public opinion. If there's one thing the modern sports world guarantees, it's that narratives are shaped just as much online as they are on the court. The Bueckers photo circulated fast. Memes followed. Debates erupted. Analysts began to compare efficiency ratings, clutch moments, turnovers, assist-to-turnover ratios, shooting percentages, and more. Some called for patience. Others demanded instant results. A growing chorus insisted that both athletes deserve space to grow. But even among the most measured voices, there was an undeniable undercurrent. Bueckers looks ready, while Clark appears to be searching for rhythm. The photo gave fans an image to anchor that feeling, a visual representation of calm versus chaos, clarity versus pressure. Whether fair or not, this image now stands as a symbol of a new chapter in the league. The Fever's frustration. For the Indiana Fever, the hope was that Clark would immediately inject firepower into their offense. And while she has shown flashes of brilliance, the reality is more complicated. Her team is struggling to find consistency. The offense can stagnate. The turnovers pile up. And the shooting slump only exacerbates the frustrations. Clark remains a fierce competitor, still posting assists, grabbing rebounds, and drawing defenders. But the spotlight doesn't dim when the shots stop falling. The expectations are unrelenting. Every 1-for-11 night is treated like a crisis. Every airball is clipped and shared online. The slump is real, but so is the pressure. And it's in this cauldron of scrutiny that the Bueckers comparison gains traction. It's not just about numbers, it's about narratives. Who looks more composed? Who seems more ready for the moment? Bueckers keeps rising. Meanwhile, Paige Bueckers continues her steady climb. Her team may not be contending for a title, but her impact is undeniable. In recent games, she has taken over in the fourth quarter, found teammates in rhythm, and shut down opposing guards on defense. There's a sense of momentum building around her. The photo only amplified it. She hasn't publicly commented on the comparisons, nor has she shown any signs of being distracted. Her focus appears locked on the game. That maturity, that discipline, is resonating with fans who are growing weary of the constant Clark-centric media storm. Where Clark generates headlines, Bueckers generates results. That, for many, is the difference. July's showdown looms. There's one date circled on every fan's calendar. A head-to-head matchup between the two rookies is set to take place in mid-July. It promises to be a defining moment, not just for them, but for the league. It will be the first time they meet on a WNBA court, and the anticipation is already reaching a fever pitch. Will Clark break out of her slump and silence critics? Will Bueckers continue her rise and stake a claim as the league's brightest young star? The answers will come soon, but the conversation has already begun. Not a rivalry, but a mirror. Despite the noise, neither athlete has leaned into a rivalry. They've spoken respectfully of one another in the past. They've acknowledged each other's talent. But the public insists on measuring them side by side. This isn't a feud. It's a reflection. Each represents something vital. Different paths, different styles, different pressures, but the same goal. Excellence. The photo of Bueckers was just an image, but it captured something intangible. Readiness, confidence, peace under pressure. And in a moment where her counterpart is facing doubt, it provided a new chapter in a story that is only just beginning. Final thoughts. The buzz surrounding the Paige Bueckers photo and the ensuing debate over Caitlin Clark's performance isn't about who is better right now. It's about what they each represent in this pivotal era for women's basketball. Clark remains a transcendent shooter, a born competitor, and a generational draw. Bueckers is showing early signs of sustained greatness, balancing fundamentals with leadership and calm execution. This league, these players, and their fans are witnessing the birth of an era. Rivalries, photos, slumps, and highlights, They're all part of the evolution. The Bueckers image will be remembered not for how it looked, but for what it stirred. And as the season unfolds, one truth will become increasingly clear. The story of Clark and Bueckers is not one of conflict, but of dual ascension. They're not racing against each other. They're racing toward greatness.